Hey guys, welcome back. It's been 3 weeks since I've talked about my Forgotten Chunks, my series, I guess. And this has put off a new leaf, and I think it's time to just pot this guy up. Also, it's been 3 weeks since I've shown you my my Philodendron Gloriosum chunks. So I'm just gonna take you guys upstairs and show you how they look, and yeah, my Forgotten Chunks series. It's being continued. Okay, so we're back up in my plant room, and it's been a while. I haven't been up here in a little bit, and it's probably because of this whole lighting situation. So my apologies in advance. I look really washed out right now, but it is what it is. So this guy, my Anthurium Forgetti, is doing so well, and it's time to be potted up in soil. So I'll just show you guys an update on it in a little bit when I'm about to repot it. I'm actually most excited to show you these chunks right over here. My Gloriosum chunks are fully activated, and they're just doing the most right now. These two are doing the best out of the 3. Oh, I did have 5, but I sold 2 of them because someone had messaged me on Instagram and they were interested in the chunks, and quite honestly, I don't need to have that many chunks. So now I'm left with 3, and this guy is actually doing the best out of the 3. So let me get this camera to focus. Now, as you can see, its node is fully activated, and it's just, you know, doing its thing. And I'm so happy that it's activated after 3 weeks. Some chunks take a little bit longer, and sometimes you may actually need to add like a little bit of kiki paste to get it going, but I didn't have to do it to these guys. Actually, what I did was I had placed the dome over top of it, and I've only watered it like, I think once. Yeah, I've only watered it once with diluted HB 101, and you know, I've been keeping an eye on them, making sure that the soil isn't too wet, because when you're working with chunks, what you really want to do is increase the humidity. That humidity is really going to help push the node to become activated. Just be careful not to overwater, because if you have root rot, it's kind of game over at that point, which is why I've only watered these guys once out of the 3 weeks. But I can always tell if it needs water because obviously the soil is dry, but you can see that the soil is fairly moist already. So this one is the second chunk that's also doing really well. It has a red tip right there, and yeah, I'm just excited, and I can't wait to see what the leaves are going to look like. Now, because the rhizomes are fairly big, I'm predicting that the leaves are going to be pretty big too. So I don't know. That's exciting. Now, this one is the slowest out of the 3, and you know what? It's perfectly fine. I'm actually quite proud of it, and the reason for that is because this chunk, this rhizome, is actually planted the wrong way. And what I mean by that is, I don't know if you remember, but when I was cutting up the rhizomes, some of the nodes were actually sitting on top of the rhizomes, and the other nodes were actually sitting on the bottom. I found that the nodes that were actually on the bottom had a more woody exterior, just because of the nature of how it was growing, right? Because it was touching the soil. So this rhizome actually should be planted the other way. It should be facing the dirt, but I want to be able to see if the node is activated, so I went ahead and flipped it this way so that I can see. So you can see that like the roots are meant to be facing into the dirt, but it's not. And yeah, I'm quite proud of it because I didn't think that it would actually be activated, just because of the of where it was located and just how woody the rhizome was. So I don't know, I'm just excited. So I'm going to continue to give this 100% humidity. Now, one thing that I do want to mention that I didn't do to any of these chunks is that If you find that your node is having a difficult time becoming activated, a couple of things that you can do is, one, you can increase the humidity by adding moss on top of it. I didn't have to do it to this one. I just, you know, did one of this and it's working fine. Now, after 3 weeks, if this wasn't activated, I would have topped it off with some moss. Now, another thing that you can do actually is, if you have some kiki paste, I know that people like to use them for the orchids to activate their nodes. You can actually put some on this and it'll kind of get it going. I've only done it once, but then it was just too messy and I didn't like working with it. So this is how I've been growing my chunks, and they're doing really well, especially this one. So I think in a couple of weeks we'll have full-on little, I don't know what you want to call them, stems. So I'll give you guys an update once there's more movements. All right, so now time to show you my Anthurium chunk update. Look at the roots on this guy. It's been doing pretty well, but I think it's experienced just a touch of of root rot, but that's okay. Today is all about cleaning it up just a little bit and then potting it up into a clear plastic cup like this so I can see what's going on, and when it's starting to root and put off more leaves, it'll go to its new home. So they're doing pretty well and I'm quite happy with it. I don't think you can see, but there you go. I think this is the Forgettii Silver, and yeah, it's doing really good. The goal was to actually get the chunk to produce a leaf. Once it did this, I knew that it was going to be okay. And same with this guy as well. I got an imperfect leaf over here, but that's fine. It'll stay where it is. Now, what I will say is these roots are actually useless to the plant, simply because the growth came from the chunk over here. I hope you can see that. So the growth came from this this chunk. So I think what's going to end up happening is, once this continues to grow and produce roots, it'll probably suck the energy out of this chunk right here and just kind of disintegrate and die off. It's already starting to do that already. So right here, like, this feels almost dead and hollow to me, but I'm not going to do anything to it just yet because it'll probably shock the Anthurium. So like I said, I'm just going to migrate it over to soil and into here so I can kind of see what's going on and clean it up. So I'm just gonna go off camera and pot these guys up for you and show you what they look like. Alright, so now these guys are potted up in their designated little cups and soil, and I don't know, they're so cute. You know what, I actually used to be totally into big, huge plants, but now I'm just like, I actually really enjoy watching them grow from like little baby chunks like this. But in any case, these guys are in a chunky aroid mix. There is just a touch more orchiata and what is it, perlite in here. And because these guys were growing in moss, I decided to add some moss to the soil mix as well, and just to help it acclimate a little bit better. And I also topped it off with some moss to retain more moisture. So these guys will go back downstairs into that big giant exo tank because that's where it was growing and thriving. So I'm just gonna put it back in there, and yeah, I'll see you guys, I guess, in 3 more weeks with regards to chunk updates. And thank you for watching, and if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the thumbs button so I know that you guys do enjoy videos like this, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!